Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Your Football Show, and it is time for Premier League preview, game week 23. I think we're up to now. The likely lads are with us, and we have Kendall as well, returning to give us the lowdown on everything Newcastle, with Leeds United playing them at 3 p.m. at Ellen Road on Saturday. We have loads to go through as well. Looking at the league table, Matt must be bouncing after yesterday's result and the game in hand. It looks like top fours. Maybe signed, sealed, delivered a little bit, Corey, I think. Maybe with the... I know, I do, mate.
Mate, anything can happen. Come on. Don't be like that. You lot are saying you were getting the passport out the other day after a couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? We're still there.
You are still there. I do get carried away, mate. It's a trait of mine. Don't get me wrong. You know, yeah, I'm convinced we're on a European charge now after two positive results. But we'll see. Yeah, there's loads to cram in. If we get round, we've got a little bit of a laugh at Locks and Leicester because he's absolutely in bits. I think he wants Rodgers gone. Has done for a while, to be fair. Maybe chat about Everton, Thomas Frank. There's loads to discuss. But let's start with Kendall. Like, we won't do the game as such yet. I just wanted to find out from you what's going down at Newcastle. We've spoken about it. We thought there might be more movement, and as it turns out, there's only Trippier and Wood in the door thus far. But I have seen on Sky Sports in the last hour that Man United want Jesse Lingard to leave on a permanent rather than a loan. What's going down at Newcastle?
Everything. And us probably at the end of the season. So obviously Diego Carlos was hopefully a done deal this week. That's not happened again. He handed in a transfer request, and Sevilla aren't willing to accept less than 50 million euros. So for me, we only offered 35. So I just
genuinely worth it.
I don't know why at this point now. Like I understand clubs playing hardball. It's January. You don't want they've got the best defense in the league at the moment. I understand they don't want him to leave, but it's like originally they said 35 million will do with bonuses, and that now they're saying no. So it's just like frustrating because you go in with the offer that they've asked for. I did the same with Lille and with Botman, and they said no as well. And he was quite open with wanting to leave as well. So it's just a bit frustrating. So that's not happening now. So we're obviously not going to have a centre back in before, unless we just do a random deal, or I don't know. But unless we do that, there's not going to be a centre back in before Leeds, which is a little bit of a nightmare, really. Because in my opinion, that was immediately the position that we needed to fill. I understand, obviously, Wilson being injured since then, so then a striker became a little bit more of a burning issue. But yeah, a centre back for me is immediate, but it's not happened as of yet. Lingard situation, we've gone in with 2 loan deals so far. First one was rejected. The second one is still on the table as far as I'm aware. Man United don't want him to leave on a loan deal. They want him to leave on a permanent. His representatives don't, and we also don't want him on a permanent. So whether there's going to be a compromise down the line for that is another story. We've been linked to literally about 40 players in the last 2 weeks. That's not an exaggeration. I think
that not exciting though, Kendall? Or are you getting like sick of it now?
Do you know what I thought I would be? I was like, put a buzz, and I was like, oh, it'll be amazing. Like, we're going to be linked to like loads of people. I wasn't thinking we were going to be linked to like unbelievable players. I just thought, we'll actually be linked to some decent players and not have to wait till the last day of the transfer window like we did with Joe Willock last time. I was like, it'll be fine, it'll be good. It's actually brought me more stress than I've ever known in my life, because at least before you knew that like you weren't going to do no business, so you weren't excited because you were like, oh, it'll just be like the last week, if anything, like we'll get a loan signing. So you knew that was going to happen, but this time, because we were a bit like more excited for it, it's just like not necessarily a letdown. It's just more like, I understand we need to be patient, you know, like this hasn't happened to us for a good few years, but it's just like it's brought us more stress than I've ever known in my life. I wake up in the morning and I think, I don't even want to look at who we linked with today. I honestly don't. It's getting tiring, but yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting anyone else in this week. So I'm expecting now we'll see the most movement on the last week of the window again. Probably.
Yeah. Like, all I could think as you were saying that is just going in my mind, I'm going, content. Like, it wouldn't be daily uploads. It'd be like hourly uploads, I think, if you were covering Newcastle.
You couldn't keep up. I think there's like a unofficial sister to the main website, and nufc.co.uk, and literally had a list of like every transfer that we've been linked to this window, and there was literally like 45 names on the list.
Wow. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
And we've got 2.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. That's the January window for you, isn't it?
It's mad though, isn't it? You're going to find though now, like with Newcastle, when you mentioned about these changing, they're just going to hold out for the big bucks because they know you're absolutely minted, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And they see us coming. They know how desperate we are. They know every club knows our plight now. They know They know that we have the money to pay it. It's just I'm assuming they're shrewd business people. That's just an assumption from me based on the fact that they're rich. So I'm assuming they know how to broker some form of deal. It just might not be football deals because we haven't brought in a sporting director or anything like that at the moment. So playing a little bit of a gambling game right now. But yeah, hopefully some more deals to come in the break.
What have you made to the 2 you have made in Trippier and Wood? What were your initial thoughts on Wood? Because I was genuinely like scratching my head. It was a bit of a mad one.
So Trippier, I'm over the moon with. Like literally, I could not be more over the moon with Trippier. You watch him, and he's like miles above every single other player in our team on the pitch. Just the way he carries himself on a football pitch, his touches, like everything about it is just he's miles above. And obviously, I know him quite well just with watching him from Atleti the last 2 years. Chris Wood was a strange one. The more I thought about it, I was like convincing myself I was happy about it. Like I was like, right. I was like listing the like positives. I was like, right, he's got double figures in the last 4 years. I was just like convincing myself it was going to be good.
Getting Wood on back of your shirt and that.
Do you know what? I'm not doing that again because I got Willock in the summer on their away shirt.
Really?
That's ended up well, hasn't it? So never doing that again. But no, so I was convincing myself it was good. Obviously, he only was there a day before he played in the Watford game, and he didn't do anything really. He didn't affect the game in any way. But that's okay. I understand that. We've got to be a little bit patient with that. We've obviously weakened Burnley a little bit, which at the moment are our relegation rivals. So, which does help. So in the end, it might be a shrewd signing. I don't know, but at the moment, I'm just going to have to base them game by game at this point because honestly, that team, like I don't even know how anyone could be expected to do anything in our team at the moment because we're that bad.
Yeah. What have you made to Eddie Howe? Because I've been saying for weeks, Kendall, and that I'm convinced that Rafa ends the season at Newcastle. Like, I guess it's a two-part question. Yeah, what have you made to Eddie Howe? Because I know results haven't been as good as you would have liked, obviously after losing Bruce. And would Newcastle fans welcome Rafa back, even knowing what went off at Everton?
So Eddie Howe, like, it's a strange situation, really. I don't know any other club in my life who's been in a situation like this, where we are so terribly bad, yet we've ended up with a takeover midway through the season. We're now, based on net worth, the richest club in the world. Now, as a club, we're not, but the owners are. I don't know any club that's ever happened to before. So it's a bit of a strange situation to be in because it's negative on the surface, but you know the future's probably going to be a bit better than it was. Eddie Howe, in general, I was quite happy with the appointment at first. I was just annoyed at how long it'd take him because if he was going to be the man, then it should have been done 3 weeks earlier. Although I understand the Emery thing, because I think I was on here when the whole Emery thing was going down. So I was happy with the appointment initially. We've not improved as a team apart from attack and wise, so we actually look like we have a go now, whereas under Bruce, if we were 1-0 down, we would have just sat back easily and just damage limitation basically. Now we score first, but then on the counteract side of that, we always can't keep a clean sheet. We can never keep a clean sheet. Eddie Howe's not known for his defensive prowess. We all know that anyway. So that doesn't help us in a situation when our defense is the worst in the league, in my opinion. Like, that's just based on the eye test. I don't know about stats, really. I haven't looked. But one of the worst defense in the league. So that doesn't help us in any way, shape or form. He's come in, he's improved players like Joe Linton, which could only help us out, really. He's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for me at the moment now. But yeah, as an overall rule, just attack and wise, yes, we've improved, but generally there's been no improvement. We've won one game. Yeah. One game. So, yeah, 1 game in 10's not ideal when you're in the situation that we're in, but he had a lot to change and the team was so rotten, the club's so rotten. I don't really expect him to do much initially. In terms of Rafa, I personally don't want him back.
Really?
I'm not even remotely interested in him coming back whatsoever. Simply because he left a hero and that's how I want him to stay. If it was going to end in any way, like it did at Everton. Like I couldn't even bear the thought of that, like genuinely, because I respect him as a man. I don't even just respect him as our manager. Like I respect him as a man, how he is and how integral he is. He's very like a charitable man. He does a lot for the community, and that's how I want it to stay. If he came, I would just rather him be in like an advisory role. I don't think that he should come back in as a manager. However, I do think if he had taken that job, or he hadn't taken that job, I think he would have been the manager now.
Yeah.
Our manager at the moment. I just think that would have been an immediate move to go. But personally, for me, he was always very reliable for us defensively, and that's how he set up. And he knows a lot of the players that we have now, because we haven't improved the squad much since he'd left. Or made any additions. But yeah, Everton, it wasn't the case. So I don't even know if he would come in and do anything about the defence now. So it's a bit of a risk to take. And plus, he wouldn't be like a long-term manager for us. He's getting on, do you know, at this point, like he's maybe tactically, he's not as good as he was 10 years ago, because football's changed now, similar to Jose Mourinho. The tactics change, football changes. And I think Eddie Howe going forward, his tactics are probably more suitable to modern day football really now.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm just laughing there at Oscar's avatar. I don't know what that's about.
Christmas is over, mate.
Yeah. Santa in a Leeds scarf. I don't know what that's about. Kendall, what's the general consensus around relegation with Newcastle fans? Do you think you can beat the drop?
We need a miracle at this point. We're not like miles away. We're only 2 points behind Watford, who are 17th. So it's within reach. We're 10. I think you and the next above, and we're 10 points behind you guys. That's a little bit harder. We need 23 points from the next 18 games. So the next 18 games, because we played 20. So the next 18 games, we need 23 points. And that's just base safety. So it's not even like categorical safety, because obviously the quota changes every year. We've only got 12 from the last 20 games. So for me, that I just find it impossible now. I don't think we're going to do it. I did have a little bit more hope after Man United, because I watched the game and I was like, oh, you know what? Like, we're actually playing all right here. If we go forward and play like this against teams like Watford, who aren't very good, we might have a little bit of a chance. And then I watched us against Watford, and I was like, it's not even the same team, like genuinely. So no, I haven't resigned myself yet to the fact that we've gone down, because I just think once the window's over, seeing if we do any more business at that point, then I might be more accepting of it. But yeah, I just think at the moment, on the reality of things, I think we're down.
Oof. I don't know if the rest would agree, but I one thing I do agree, and I try to say this all the time to Leeds fans through my content, like 9 points at this stage of the season. I know it's early for Leeds fans, but I've been saying I think we're out of the woods now. And people are saying, "What are you jinxing it?" But you've just to look at. I know we're only halfway through or whatever, well over halfway through. But the fact that you've only picked up so many points, Watford, Norwich the same, and there's a 9 point gap. You can't suddenly just change form around them 3 teams or 4 that are down there and suddenly bridge that gap for me.
The problem is Burnley have now got 3 or 4 games in hand on us as well now. So it's just like, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win them all, because they've only had 1 win all season as well. I don't know why Newcastle's only won 1. They've only won 1 as well. So I'm not saying they're going to win that, but it's not helpful. It's not helpful in the situation that you're in, really.
No, and I'm convinced Burnley aren't going to play any more games until they get another striker.
Probably.
I think that's what they're doing. Like Sean Dyche is just injecting people with COVID until he gets a striker through the door. I think
just like crunching. You can imagine him just crunching them in training, can't you? Just chinning someone, being like, "You're out this weekend, mate. See ya."
But I know, Corey, you've been quite the opposite. You think Newcastle will be all right, don't you?
Yeah, because of the money thing. I don't think the reason why I think they've still got a chance is because it's so tight at the bottom. And obviously, if they pull away with some of the signings, then. And I do think Chris Wood is a good signing. I know people disagree, and we spoke about it last week in terms of money. But even look at the length of the deal for 2 years, given how much money they do have. Newcastle have got the advantage that other teams don't have, which is essentially we can buy whoever we need for now. And if you add Lingard into that, which is probably more likely than West Ham at the minute, because they'll offer the money and we won't. Then I think they'll just be okay. But like we just said, Burnley have only had 1 win all season. Newcastle, so we're looking at intangibles here, like really and truthfully outside of football, like who can strengthen in the transfer window, who can get players back. So I think they've just got enough match winners. I think Saint-Maximin is one of them. If Callum Wilson gets fit, he's another one. Trippier is a fantastic signing as well. Set pieces, leadership. So there is enough quality in and around there. And having played Burnley and played Watford, I just feel that Newcastle may just nick it and stay up. But that's just my opinion. So
Pete's put a super chat in. He says 3 to go down are Watford, Norwich, and Burnley. I think it will. I've said for quite some time now, I do think it will be Watford and Norwich and then another. I'm not quite sure yet. It all depends on who Burnley bring in to replace Wood.
Have you played Watford? I'm sure you will have by now. Oh my God, when we played them last weekend, they were horrible. I've never seen a team more clueless and not know what to do on a pitch than them. And then that's more frustrating because like it was a draw. And I'm just like, it just annoys the life out of you because it's just like one little fluky thing that happens. But they looked, honestly, no disrespect to Watford, but they looked horrible, like really horrible.
Yeah, you know what the mad thing is, by the way, with the centre, the defences are a big problem. Like Newcastle, we've sat here and said defensively they're shocking. Watford, when we played them, were absolutely awful. If Newcastle can get that centre back in, that might genuinely be the difference. Because all those centre backs for all those teams down the bottom, they've been woeful this season.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing is the one thing that I would have said Watford had from when we played them a couple of weeks ago is that they were really good defensively, and it's really strange because I know how bad they are, and I've been watching. They've been absolutely atrocious. But it probably comes back to the point you were making there, Kendall, about how good Newcastle looked against Man United. It's just that kind of mentality going into playing against a big team and actually having being more of an underdog than you usually are, and that chance for an upset. It really helps a lot of the time. But I think every team down there has the potential to have those performances in them. But I agree with Pete there with the 3 that are going down. Because I think I said it back when the takeover was happening, Joe, on here, that my concern with Newcastle was the type of players they'd look at signing, and I felt as though they'd be the team that would say, we have all this money, we'll get Ousmane Dembele, or we'll get players of that ilk who should be better than they are and have these concerns and will cost a lot of money, but go for kind of the profile of the player rather than the actual quality. But Kieran Trippier is a player I never wanted to leave Tottenham. I was gutted when he left. I think he's a brilliant signing. And the kind of realistic links that we're looking at have been really clever business by Newcastle, like Sven Botman, like Diego Carlos, and I know Chris Wood is a bit left field, but like we said, probably needed without Wilson. But yeah, I think Pete's right there. 3 that are going down.
Yeah.
The thing with Watford though is that Ranieri's on borrowed time. I think I felt that for a couple of weeks, to be fair. And you look at the history of Watford, they don't mind getting rid of a manager. The only thing I'd say is Watford then make a really good appointment. I think Burnley, Norwich are gone. I think the thing with Burnley, I still think that Burnley will pick up.
You can't count Daichi out. You can't count.
They always kick on second half of the season, though. They have for the last 4 years. They've always kicked on second half of the season.
I don't know. I just looked at Tarkowski and me, and I just think they've dropped massively. I just think the thing with Burnley was they've never been a team that scores a lot of goals. They've always been very good at keeping clean sheets and defensively, but they looked absolutely woeful against us, Ben Mee and Tarkowski. And I thought, if they're playing like that, the 2 big leaders of the team, I think maybe this might be the season Burnley go. But Watford are the same. I've not been convinced at all by Watford. I think they've got 2 really good players individually in Zaha and Dennis. Dennis especially, I really like. But outside of that, I think it's a championship team, to be honest, outside of that in terms of quality. And Ranieri, to be honest, I don't think he's suited to that job. But if they sack Ranieri and make a really good appointment, then Watford have got a chance. But yeah, I just think Newcastle will be okay. I think you get 1 or 2 more marquee signings, I think they'll be all right. And I think
I need your positivity use, honestly, because I can't do it at the moment.
I mean,
but Oscar, if hypothetically Watford do change the manager and it just go well and Newcastle will be fine, then who's going down with Burnley and Norwich?
No, that's where I think Newcastle are going to struggle. I think at the minute Newcastle will find that way to win games. I just think if they get that centre back in, they've got a massive. I think going forward, Newcastle are fine, to be fair. I think they've improved quite a bit under Howe. They'll be maybe not scoring that many goals, but creating a lot of chances. Wilson to come back. If they get Wood and Wilson playing up top together, I think they can complement each other quite well. You got Trippier putting balls into the box for Wood. They've got danger men there, I think, Newcastle. But just defensively, they need that leader at the back of Diego Carlos, Botman, whoever it is to get. I think Newcastle will get a centre-back. There's no way their owners are going to take that risk. They've spent 300 million on the club and then have Kieran Clark at centre-back with the greatest respect. I mean, Kieran Clark is probably I'm sure Kendall won't disagree.
You said it before. You said I think he's the worst player in the division, didn't you?
I can't deal, honestly. I can't deal with him. I can't deal with him, and I can't deal with Jamal Lascelles. It's actually like it's upsetting at this point. Like it's actually like it's very upsetting.
Jamal
Kieran Clark
Lascelles
is Ireland's best centre back, which is the worst part.
What's he still playing for Ireland, Kieran Clark?
I've stopped watching, but
no wonder
we don't have many better options.
Lascelles, right? He reminds me a little bit like Pontus Jansson and a little bit like Tyrone Mings in that they're very emotional and pump your chest, and fans can easily get transfixed because they're like pumping their chest and conveying all this emotion on the football pitch, and it's like, oh, he gets it, yeah, he understands it, when in actual fact they're not actually that great. Do you know what I mean?
The problem with him, right, is like
does it make sense?
When we were having a bad time, like before Rafa came in, like when Steve McLaren was the crap was within. God, I would like to forget that. He came and he was the only person that at the time said this club's not good enough anymore. We're not run properly. The team's not good enough. The results aren't good enough, like plain and simple. So from that point onwards, because he was the only person who'd said that, everyone was like, right, captain, just make him captain immediately, because that's how down bad we were at the time, like just make ourselves captain. And then he had his best season probably under Rafa at the time, and everyone was like, oh, he's got a Liverpool for 50 million, right? Why do we do this? Sean Longstaff scored 1 goal against Man United, and everyone was like, 50 million Sean Longstaff. Man United, but yeah, he did that. And then since that point, like literally for 4 years, he's been horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Can't play out from the back. He is like Bambi on ice. He's so physical. Like he's in the first 3 games of the season, he gave away 3 penalties in 3 games. So it's like he can't cope at this level anymore. Now the way that football's going, and the attackers and the forwards, and now like football's a lot more centered around midfield now. He can't cope with that. Whereas against Burnley, he looked like one of the best players on the pitch, because it was like a physical battle with like no technicality about it. It was just like a physical low block. Like that's the only way he suits a game. And because football is changing, like even with you guys, like you don't play like that. So only teams like Burnley play like that. So he's not gonna cope against many teams in the league anymore. So for me, if anyone was going to be dropped, it would have to be him anyway. And in my opinion, I'll just be giving Kieran Trippier the captaincy now. Yeah,
that's fair. Someone said in the chat, isn't Diop available?
Corey, please take him. 25 million is yours. No problem. We'll pay the taxi fare.
We like to waste 25 million even there. So
do you know what? I'm hoping you get so desperate that you go, do you know what? That'll be worth it. And I'll be wetting myself, I swear, if they come in through. We'll see you coming from a mile away. 20 million.
All I could think of, like when Kendall was talking then about bringing it out from the back, was just Diop's maraud up to the edge of our centre back on the end.
Don't give me slide on him, mate.
Edge of our box, and then he went and then turned backwards.
You make it like that's poor. That was the good bit. He was actually comfortable in bringing it into midfield. It's the rest that concerns me. Let's not get onto Diop, mate, because we'll be here for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Fair. Right, let's move it on from Newcastle. We will go back in a little bit when we talk about our games, but I want to bring in Matt. Obviously, yesterday, what a fantastic result that was for you. Looking at the league table now, as I say, you are 1 point behind West Ham with 3 games in hand. So that's looking good. Just before I let you have your moment, I was having a look on old Lox's Twitter, and he wants Brendan Rodgers gone. He says it's Rodgers' DNA now. It happens too many times to be a coincidence. Do you remember that meme of that guy going, "Get out"? Yeah, he's got that and got Rodgers above it. And then, to be fair, someone's put up this mad thing like first game under Rodgers, Watford away, last minute goal we lose, bottled. Last minute League Cup semi-final, Villa away, bottled. First game back after lockdown.
They can just do the one FA Cup.
This is what I'm saying. And this is the thing they've put, FA Cup final 2021. Last minute conceded. If VAR wasn't there, we'd have bottled that as well.
That was so hard. I was like, come on.
That's clutching.
Yeah. Narrative. It doesn't suit the narrative.
No, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, there's about 15 points where they've bottled it. But yeah, I think... I don't know, maybe Rodgers' time might be up because, like Locks has told us many a times, that Leicester don't mess about really with managers. So we'll have to wait and see. But Matt, have your moment, mate. How are you feeling?
Joe, it's so weird being in this position 20 days into the transfer window. We haven't signed a single player. And I can't remember the last time I felt this positive about Spurs, this optimistic. We're a point behind West Ham with 3 games in hand. We're 11 points behind Chelsea with 5 games in hand. And we play them on Sunday. Now, we don't win at Stamford Bridge. But if we win at Stamford Bridge, that's 8 points behind with 5 games in hand. Like I said it on Twitter a while ago, if we beat Chelsea, we get top 4. And it's as simple as that. And you can all agree that I've been here since the day Conte was appointed. You asked me about top 4, and I said no chance.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was possible. But look, that game last night, it's like obviously we look at that and say, we're 95th minute, we're 2-1 down, and we come out somehow with 3 points. But as fantastic as that was, that's not something that you can carry forward or something that you can try and build on. What we need to build on is that performance that was absolutely incredible from first minute to last. And we're weak at the back, as we always are. It's why we're going to bring in a centre-back. But we were so good going forward. We had a midfield of Højbjerg, Winks and Skip, which I saw people say was like it's the equivalent of a meal deal with a ham sandwich, ready salted crisps, and a bottle of water, which I think is the perfect description I've ever seen of anything. But it worked.
That is mint.
It's so good, but it worked so well. And we typically go with that 3-4-3, but we went instead with a 3-5-2, and it allowed those players in midfield to be a lot more free and to venture forward a lot more. Because with the 2, you need to be more rigid. You need to have that solid double pivot. But there was times Højbjerg was bombing forward. At times it was Skip. But the one consistent was that Winks was pulling the strings from deep, which is where he's always been at his best for Spurs, which has been 2-3 years ago. He hasn't done it for a while. But they were all just so good. And we were creating chances. Kane was back at his best. The goal he scored was typical Kane. The assist for Bergwijn, everything was just perfect. And then today, Lloris signs a new contract, and Ndombele is going to PSG. We're getting Adama, and we're moving for Frank Kessie. It doesn't get better than this. Well, it does, but for Spurs, it doesn't.
No, that's decent, isn't it, mate? You're bouncing, I can tell that, mate. So
really happy.
Isn't Ndombele going as well? Because I know was it Monday, actually, you were chatting about saying like he's on crazy money, no one wants him. Is that confirmed? What's happening there?
Yeah, every Tottenham source, bar Alistair Gold, has basically said PSG want him on loan. They've offered us Leandro Paredes in return. Paredes said no, which fair enough. Why would you go to Tottenham? But PSG, look, they'll pay his wages. It's 200 grand a week. Levy wants them to pay 100%. They're a bit skeptical on that. Duncan's right.
It's not like PSG don't have any egos in the team either, is it?
Exactly. I was streaming there before I come on here, and there was a comment that said Ndombele's toxic personality will fit that toxic dressing room, and it's a perfect fit. And look, who's the man that brought him to Tottenham? Who's the man that lumbered us with that waste of space? It's Pochettino. Bring him with you.
I think that's pretty harsh on Pochettino, that, man.
I don't think I've ever heard a Tottenham fan call Pochettino a waste of space. So I'm literally almost like,
a waste of space.
All right.
Is a waste of space.
No, but the way you were, it was like you were really venomous towards Pochettino there. Elena will have your eyes out, mate. She'll have your eyes out. I wonder how Elena celebrated that Kane goal anyway. I wonder if she still wants him gone.
He's changed my mind. I kind of wanted him gone as well, but he's changed my mind. Yeah. When he's at his best, it's hard not to. Like he's one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world at what he does. He's not like a typical out and out striker. He does a lot more. There's not many people that offer that. Not that he was so good last night. He actually had pace. And I know he's playing up against Yannick Vestergaard, so it's easy to look a little bit faster. But he actually looked sharp again. He was getting on the ball deep. He was driving forward. He was linking up. And there's at one stage we actually lost the ball at the edge of Leicester's box, and they broke forward. Maddison probably should have scored, but Kane sprinted the length of the pitch, and he didn't get there in the end. But I think his presence put Maddison off a little bit. He ended up missing a chance, and Kane doesn't do that. So there's been a change with him. There's been a change with quite a few players on that team, and like I say, top 4 is well and truly in our hands now.
Form's temporary, class is permanent, isn't it, mate?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. That's what we were trying to tell you, Tottenham fans, but you wouldn't have it at the time. You were all trying to bin him off. Absolute joke.
I said about Kane. I did say like like the goals that he was scoring last night. He had a bit of both in terms of being that playmaker for setting up Bergwijn, but also the fact that the run that he makes. And I know Soyuncu got absolutely done, but it's just everything about Kane. If you just get him in that final third, he's still unbelievable. He's such an intelligent player. And yeah, unfortunately, he's banging goals for you. And he was my captain on FPL. So I knew, I foresaw it. And I needed someone to dig me out massively because I left Trent on the bench. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I've just seen a tweet, right, from the Premier League. Sorry, just off topic. It says, which individual performance impressed you the most in match week 22? And there's De Bruyne, Bergwijn, Trent, and I think the Man United crew. But no Harrison. He's got a hat-trick. Do you know what I mean? He scored his first ever hat-trick. What's all that about? Yeah, did he cover it? Yeah. That's top 6 bias for you right there, though. Like, the fact that Harrison's not even in that conversation.
Wait, do you think Rashford was on there?
Yeah. Well,
surely not.
There's a few of them. I'm assuming. I never watched the game. Maybe it's for Bruno Fernandes, Telles, Rashford. I don't know. They're all there. McTominay, Elanga, whatever his name is. So yeah, I don't know. Harrison's not there. Which is an absolute joke, really. To be fair, Oscar, I don't feel like you've spoken, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Yeah. No, I feel all right about stuff, to be fair. Looking at league table looks all of a sudden a lot more healthy. And to be honest with you, I think you look at Leicester's result last night, I think the top 10's on, to be honest. I still think we can finish in a similar
on, man.
Why not? Because Leicester win the game, lose the game, win the game, lose the game. And I think everyone around that top 10 does it. Palace are the same. They're all inconsistent. And we know under Bielsa, we have got that ability to put a run together. Back end of last season, it was 8 wins in 10, 1 draw, 1 defeat. We've got that ability to do that. And kind of the way we started this calendar year so far is a little bit similar to last year after Crawley. We started to put a little bit of a run together, a couple of impressive wins. That win away at Leicester this time last year, that win away at West Ham, last weekend. It feels a bit similar all of a sudden. And you're thinking, Rafinha for me is amongst the best 5 players in the league on form at the very least. In terms of his individual performance at West Ham, I know Harrison gets the hat-trick, but in terms of individual performance, that's one of the best performances I've seen in a long time from a Leeds player. Everything he did was just magic on Sunday. Aaron Creswell is a very good left-back for me, but he made Aaron Creswell look like a championship player on Sunday. Not many players can do that. And I'm not having to go at Aaron Creswell, Corey. I'm just saying that, no, I'm not.
I agree. I saw it live in the flesh, mate. He did it a few times.
But, I can't lie. Why you put Masuaku on there? When I saw Masuaku coming up with 20 minutes to go, I was thinking, oof, it's on.
Joe said exactly the same. He said, why did you bring him on?
On the left wing as well. I'm thinking, what is Moyes doing there? But not going to complain. But yeah, things are looking up. The bench is going to look better on Saturday against Newcastle as well. But I just think the thing with the Newcastle game is, as long as we don't get beat, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
I think as long as we don't let that gap shorten, I think we're okay. 9 points back in January is pretty good to me. If we can make it 12 points and win the game against Newcastle, fantastic. But as long as we don't get beat, that's the main thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then you're looking, maybe what's that, 25? We then go above Villa and Brentford. Do you know what I mean? Who we're having?
Just say about Tottenham.
Brentford are having an amazing season by all accounts.
I said it happened with Brentford.
You did. Season.
They'll go down next season.
Yeah.
Almost certain of that. They will go down. I've not got anything against Brentford, but I just can't see them doing. I think second season syndrome will hit them. But Tottenham, Matt, I've not said many nice things about Tottenham, but I've got to say, in terms of everyone talks about Pep, Klopp, but I think you look at what Conte's records, what he's done at Chelsea, what he's done at Inter Milan, what he's done at Juventus, Italy. He's got to be in that bracket now for me in terms of just world class. In terms of, look what he's done in that Tottenham team. With average players really, other than Kane and Son. Amazing stuff, really.
Did they beat Chelsea at the weekend, Oscar?
Depends if Lukaku's up for it, to be honest with you. If Lukaku plays like he has done in recent weeks, a bit like he did towards the end at Man United, I don't know. I just don't know if Chelsea have got the quality to really hurt Tottenham, because you look at Ziyech, Pulisic, I don't know, are they producing enough week in, week out? Defensively, big question marks there defensively with Chelsea at this moment in time. And yeah, I think with Tuchel, to be honest, I think it's all about the Champions League now, because I think you see it with all Chelsea managers after sort of that first year, and Tuchel is coming up to the first year now, he kind of does start to fall away. And wouldn't be surprised if Tuchel's gone in the summer, let's be honest. He's obviously a world-class manager himself, but we know what Chelsea are like.
What did you did any of us catch Jake Humphrey's tweet?
Oh,
I saw it.
Why? Why?
Have you not seen it? He's been made a meme, hasn't he? The guy's so far up Lampard's arse, it's unbelievable. Like, he came out, right, and tweeted, Chelsea 12 points off the top. Frank Lampard lost his job a year ago this week, 11 points off the top. But then, where's the guy who quote tweeted him and just put him absolutely in the bin.
I saw one where it was like Tuchel won a Champions League though, or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
Oh man, where is it? I'm gonna have to find it.
Did he say something like Chelsea were like what 5th or 6th in the table?
Yeah, that's it.
Chelsea
yeah,
third.
They were like, mad, and it was just so funny seeing Jake Humphries come out and do that, but he got absolutely roasted for it, and deservedly.
Normally he's on the money as well, Jake Humphrey, with these tweets. He's normally quite he doesn't normally have a bad take in him, but that's kind of shocking. That's tragic.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen a few bad Jake Humphries takes. I can't lie.
I haven't. I don't know. I kind of like him, because he's always stuck up for that in the press. So I've always kind of I've liked him a bit. I don't follow him, to be fair. So maybe I don't.
No, that's the thing, though. I get it. It's all relative. I can't stand Graham Souness, right? But after the West Ham game, he said that if he lived in Yorkshire, he would get a season ticket because Leeds are his favourite team to watch. And I'm like, I like Graham Souness. Do you know what I mean?
You're flaky, mate.
Dear God.
He's all now. Yeah, this is it. Colin Miller said Chelsea were 9th when Lampard was sacked. They are now 3rd. Lampard was sacked in 19 games, 29 points. Tuchel has 23 games, 44 points. But apart from that, them winning the Champions League and reaching every cup final available, it's a good point. It's just class. I thought fair enough. Right, that's enough ramble for that. Corey, how do you see the Chelsea Spurs game going? It's a big one.
Yeah, it is actually. I didn't realise how big it was going to be. I thought, unfortunately, Tottenham did win in the end. I think Chelsea win. I think it's purely because they've got their number in terms of that possession-based style. I think Chelsea are struggling. Obviously, it was on Matisse's show the other day, and we were talking about the wing-backs. That's a big problem for Chelsea. Without Reece James, without Chilwell, there's no creativity, and that front three is just not fluid enough. But having seen them in the League Cup, I just felt that they were a class above Spurs. And if Spurs go into that game and they play 3-5-2, and when they've played that system, they have looked a lot better. There's a bit more freedom in there. They can press a bit more effectively. Then maybe they can make it a more even of a game. But I'd still back Chelsea, but probably like a 1-0. Otherwise, they're going to get dragged back in with the rest of us, Chelsea, which I'll be buzzing for, mate. That'd be hilarious.
That would be as well. What a shame that would be if Chelsea get dragged back in.
Love it, mate. Absolutely.
Oh, it's glorious. I love it when they fall apart, Chelsea. Honestly, their fans, after that 3-2, you think they've won the Champions League. The luckiest penalty you'll ever see. Rudiger. Don't even get me started on Rudiger.
I thought you were talking about Tottenham's 3-2 then.
No, just Rudiger, Jorginho, all of them. Just get in the bin.
I won't have Rudiger slander. I know he did what he did against Leeds.
He's a complete knob, isn't he? Let's be honest.
He's great, though.
That is true. I don't agree with you often, Oscar, but I agree with you on that.
Kendall, thoughts on Chelsea Spurs?
Yeah, I think Chelsea aren't looking good. They've had some absolute right meltdowns over the last few weeks. Lukaku hasn't helped the situation, has he? Let's be honest. So, I watched them against Brighton the other night and they looked awful. Not awful, but Brighton just outplayed them. It looked like, if you looked at the stats, you'd think Chelsea had the better game, but they genuinely didn't. When I watched that game, they aren't going to cope if they don't sign a decent fullback, because both fullbacks, both sides. I used to rate Aspilicueta quite highly, but I just think he's getting older. He's dropped off a little bit now. He hasn't had a regular spot in the squad, so you can never keep up with your match fitness. You can never keep up with that sharpness in a game when you don't have a consistent run. So obviously there was talks of him leaving as well, so that's not looking good for them. I really thought they'd be a bit more proactive in this window and signing. The only thing they've done is brought back Kennedy, who had one of the worst individual performances I've ever seen in my history of following football for us against Cardiff, literally. So I don't know what they're doing, and I just think it's a bit unfair that Tuchel's getting the slack, all of the flack for everything that's going on, when what's he meant to do? Literally, what is he actually meant to do at this point? I don't know. So I do think you guys will win, Matt. I really do. You're going to come back off the back of that, and you're going to have that momentum anyway. You're going to have that belief, which is always goes a little bit of a long way. And Chelsea don't at the moment. They're in a bit of a bad way. So, with the fans are anyway. So I think you'll win.
Yeah, hopefully so. I hope they do. Corey, though, I know you said Chelsea will get dragged back in. You don't want Spurs to be winning this, really, though, do you?
Nah, draw perfect, really. Or Chelsea too. For me, in my head, Chelsea is still that third place team. But so I kind of feel that if they won, would it really matter? No, it'd probably help us with Spurs. Mate, I'm in a bit of flux at the minute with the table because I just don't know where even we lie. Yeah, we're fourth, but realistically, we're not fourth. So we just got to win our games. A draw. I'd go a draw would be quite nice. Yeah. We can get Chelsea back down with the rest of us. Yeah. That'll make it quite tasty. But then you've got United behind us now. Get another win. We play them on Saturday. So it'll all be up for grabs.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be good. I just find this with Lou Cat cool. I don't know why. Maybe I just thought it was rather funny. Right, let's talk about Man United, West Ham then, mate. Man United aren't great. West Ham, a bit like a wounded animal after getting slapped by Leeds.
No, mate, we could have been sitting here with a draw, if Bowen hadn't tried to chest it in. Yeah, granted.
Popped up against anyone anywhere near as good as Rafinha this weekend, so you got a decent little chance there, mate.
Yeah. Don't jinx it. Sancho will turn up. Look, I think Man United are, because they are struggling with their identity a little bit, and because we've had a week off and we needed one after that sort of 3-game week. We've got Souček back. We've possibly got Zuma back. There'll be balance to the team again. Ben Rama's back from AFCON because they got knocked out today. So we've got a little bit more squad depth. I'm actually feeling like we can get a result. I genuinely feel that we can go up there and pinch something because I just think they're so poor, Manchester United. I think defensively we can exploit them. I think we've got enough in terms of our attacking midfielders and the way that we create. Jarrod Bowen at the minute, Antonio if he's fit and he's got a week off and he's ready to go, we can stretch him. We've got enough, I feel. But I think Zuma's a massive part of that because you know what it's like with Diop and Dawson. It's one or the other. There'll be a mistake in there. Man United have got enough quality even if they aren't looking as fluid as they should do. So get Souček back in a double pivot, strengthen it up a little bit, get the balance right, and then I think we can nick it 1-0. I hope so.
Is Souček back? They say COVID, right?
Yeah. It was Zuma as well. Zuma's actually been back for, I think, 2 weeks, but he's had COVID and then he's been set out, so...
Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. So you back yourself to beat Man United at Old Trafford?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've done it before. This is the thing with West Ham. We actually have beaten all of the big teams in one competition or another. So, and that was a big issue last season. It was just mentality for us. We've done that. Now we've done it, and because we've lost that Leeds game, there's a lot of emphasis going into this one to get something. And I just feel that. I just think we can. I just think defensively, Zuma would be a huge bonus. Huge. The difference he makes to us in terms of going forward, playing a bit higher, trying to, I wouldn't say press Manchester United, but get Declan Rice further forward, get Souček further forward. That's what we need. And we were naive against Leeds and we were fatigued and we didn't look good enough and you pressed the life out of us. I just don't feel Manchester United have that in their locker yet. So there are things that go in our favour. Set pieces, a big thing. I think Manchester United are awful from them. And I think we've got a lot of threat in that box. So
yeah, definitely.
We've got enough. We shouldn't feel scared. I don't go into these games anymore thinking, oh no, it's so-and-so. The only team for me is Man City where I go, okay, this is going to be really, really tough. But not Man United.
Nah, they're rubbish, aren't they? Oscar, they're not great, are they?
If Declan Rice plays like he did against us, West Ham have got a real chance. Rice, I've got to say, Corey, even though he lost the game, Rice was I think everyone else for West Ham was playing at about like a 5 out of 10. Rice was easily an 8. He was outstanding against us, to be honest. And it was a really good battle between him and Click. But I look at McTominay and Fred. I don't think they'll be able to cope with someone like a Rice in the middle of the park, in terms of quality, physicality. And then you got obviously the creative players at the top end of the pitch. Antonio, I think he can force a mistake from Lindelof or Maguire. Bowen in the form he's in against Telles or Shaw. For me, Bowen's winning that all day long. On Zuma coming back in, I can't see West Ham losing it. I think draw or West Ham win. I just think Man United are going to get found out. I think a better team than Brentford's in terms of in the final third scores a couple in that first half. I know Thomas Frank certainly thinks that. But to be fair, better quality finishing.
Just jealous.
It's fine. I'm not jealous of anyone who has that.
Everyone's jealous of Declan Rice, let's be honest. Rolls Royce, mate.
I'd rather have Harry Winks out of his right leg. Stop it.
Do you know what? I just love him as well, like as a person. I just think he's class. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? Like,
that's the worst part.
Do you know what? Credit to him, because I think a lot's been said about his playing style and how he's improved, but actually his maturity. He's only 23 years of age, and even in that game, it's not just about the player you are and how you play, but he took a lot of impetus. He takes a lot of pressure on himself, and I think against Man United, you do need that. You do need someone to step up at times and not be overawed by the occasion. And I remember him coming on when he was 18 to Old Trafford away. It was 30 minutes, and he looked calm as you like. So he's got it in his locker. He's got that kind of leadership quality. So yeah, but he was brilliant against Leeds. It was just a shame everyone else was absolutely flagging to bits.
Quick question for you, mate, coming in from Justin Thomas. If you don't get top 4, are you worried about him leaving?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's definitely on the. Well, I mean, it depends on the circumstances that you finish the season. If West Ham can get a trophy or get to a final, it's tough anyway, because I think if a club like a Chelsea comes in, if Manchester United come in and they pay the money, then he is going to have his head turned slightly. But as a club, all we've got to do is try and show a bit of ambition. And that's why I say to you, about every transfer window or every cup competition we're in, we need to show that kind of strength and get to a semi-final for him to want to stay for another year. But I agree. I think sooner rather than later, we'll be looking at Champions League football. And that's the only thing. But he's still young. And that's the only thing I would say. I still think he's young enough to go to play Champions League football for the next 6-7 years. So it's not, I don't think there's a rush to leave West Ham. If we finish 5th, which would be great anyway, then I think maybe he gives us another season. But if buts and maybes, mate, I think it's money.
Time's running out, innit, bro? I hear you, mate. That, like this guy as well on my shirt. I know the time's coming soon. I even think it might be this summer, if I'm totally honest. But we'll have to wait and see, man. It's rubbish when your best players leave, isn't it? Yeah, it's happened to us years and years. But yeah, I mean, Rice going to be gut wrenching for you, mate. I can imagine you being tears. To be fair, Corey.
Mate, I've got Nobes leaving at the end of the season, and then we got I can't do both. So they're gonna have to make something up between themselves. Where like, you're right, okay, you just you stay.
To be fair, nothing could be more heartbreaking than seeing your best players move to fucking Norwich every single summer. Like 10 years ago, Joe. That is the height of just Becky.
We were Norwich's feeder club, weren't we, for a long time?
Oh, it was horrible. It was a low point. That Norwich, desired location,
Norfolk,
house and club captain to Norwich. I'm thinking, what? Oh,
Problem is with Deck, he's that good that he could play for most teams, and it's not like Bowen. To be fair to him, is coming into his own, and he will get better. But he's still kind of on that cusp of a young player, or sort of he's got time to grow. Whereas Rice, you're looking at him thinking, mate, you're on a different level here, and that's the issue. And I think City have been interested in him. Loads of clubs will be. It's just how we manage it, mate. But
you bothered as long as he don't go to Chelsea.
I think, listen, there's a possibility he does go. That for me. If he goes, that's the club that he's going to go to. So I've had to kind of make peace with that. It's for me. Look, at the end of the day, Moyes has said he wants to build a team around him. I like the ambition of it. Whether or not it will happen is a completely different matter. But at the same time, listen, if he goes and there is an inevitability to it, then we've just got to strengthen in the right way. And that's and that's tough enough as it is with our board. So give them 80, 90 mil, 100 mil. What are they going to do with it? And I'm sure you'll have the same conversations if you get some money for Rafinha or Phillips or whatever. So
see, I have faith in the powers that be at Leeds United that they would spend it wisely and would get the right players in. You know, like we've been linked to that Brendan Aronson, and it just makes perfect sense. A guy, young profile. You certainly don't want to be going to Spurs and asking them how to spend money when you've sold your top guy anyway, because we all know what happened after Bale, don't we? So, yeah.
You got Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen was enough for that to be a success. Eric Lamela was class. We're not going through this again.
What was Chicharias? What was that guy called?
Kira Kesh. I remember the last time we spoke with this, Oscar got his head bitten off for asking where Eddie and Capu was now. All four of us were he's winning Europa Leagues.
That.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We got Perez. We know.
Does anyone go against Cork? Because I do think I'd go West Ham or draw. I don't see Man United winning it. What about you, Kendall?
No, the same. Like when we played them, they were absolutely horrendous. Absolutely, I just honestly couldn't even believe that they even. I mean, I know what are they 7th now, but they might have gone up since last night's win, have they? But like not one thing they did was of any note going forward. Like even the defense was absolutely shoddy. I just couldn't even believe it that I was watching that. I genuinely couldn't believe it. And honestly, Ronaldo, I've never seen him so rattled in my life before, like especially since he's come back to Man United. He was so rattled. He used to get rattled all the time, like when he played for Juve and that, but like since he's come back, just nothing was going right for him. He was getting proper angry, he was shouting at the fans, and that was he started arguing. I can't remember, it might be with it was one of our midfielders, I can't remember who it was now, for throwing the ball away, but it was actually literally Bruno Fernandes who did it, but he was just blaming us for everything for no reason. So yeah, I think Corey's right. I can't see anything other than a West Ham win, honestly. Even again, I did say momentum about Spurs, but I just don't think Man United have it in them. This system that Ralph Rangnick's playing is not working for the best of at the best of times. Against Brentford, okay, fine, but when they need a result, it's not working at all. So yeah, I think West Ham are going to win comfortably as well.
He's not much better than Solskjaer, is he? Let's be totally honest. Nah. He is better, but he's not that. He's hardly like had a big impact, has he? Really?
No.
The thing I don't understand is like I don't even know why they did it though. Like I get it in terms of like the managers they wanted wasn't available. Conte had gone to Spurs. Ten Hag wasn't available at the summer. I get that, right? But to come in and know that he plays a system that very, very few teams in Europe play. Southampton at a push, like did play it for a bit, but like to come in and have players who have already been in a bad system under Solskjaer, and then to come in completely and utterly mess everything up, change everything. And then just to get another manager in the summer.
Yeah,
what's the point? Like, it doesn't actually make any sense whatsoever. Like, they may as well just stuck with Solskjaer or try to get whoever else who was more of a long-term like manager.
Or even just stuck with Carrick, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. I'm sure he won a game. Like, at least, exactly. So, like, yeah, it was a very bizarre move. But the Glazers, they just try to save money in the best way possible. So all they have to do now is get Ralph Rangnick upstairs and get someone else in. So.
Yeah, I love it, man. Ralph Ragnarock, the B-Tech BLs are coming in to save them on his white horse, and it's just all fallen off a cliff. And
don't say that, man. It's your league.
Oh no,
it is
1-0 Ronaldo. Like, to God's sake,
they're rubbish, man.
The way they play, like with Ronaldo and with their attacking players dropping deep, it will suit us massively. If we want to try and play a counter-attacking style of football, I don't think they're good enough to break us down as they used to be. I used to always be concerned with Manchester United because I think on the counter they are frightening. They're predictable. It's tactically not that intriguing, but it is effective. Whereas now I think there is that element of those players, and every time I watch them play, they're thinking through every single thing they're doing to do this, to create this system, and they just can't do it because either they ain't got the players or they don't want to do it and they've got this attitude about it. So we just got to take advantage of it. Seriously, just step up, play our game, and then fingers crossed. Lanzini worldie, Declan Rice smashes a bullet header or something like that. But yeah, a win, mate's huge because at the end of the day, if we get a win over United, we're putting more distance between us and them. And we need to anyway.
About you is you're like West Ham, Corey, like you don't have any pressure on you really. Like you like just floating on by, like very under the radar. Like Man United have like immense pressure all the time. Yeah, it's a good thing for you. It's like it works in your favour, in my opinion. Like obviously if you consistently start getting Europe and at top 4 every year, then fair enough. But you're going under the radar and you haven't got that immense pressure on you because no one's expecting too much of you at the moment. So like it's a good thing for you, really. It's only everyone will be looking at Man United now. So it's a really good thing for you.
And that's the best thing. Yeah. Pressure's on them on Saturday. Yeah. They've got to step 100%. Up. They've got to play it. They've got to play a certain way. They've got to show something exciting. For us, it's going to suit us down to the ground. In games where we've had to step up ourselves, that's where we've come across slight problems. But in the other games where we can just counter-attack or, again, be a little bit more composed, I just think having that week for us and then playing midweek's a big thing as well. Because I think, again, I'm hoping they're a little bit tired. And it's just going to suit us big time. So, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you, mate, because I can't stand Man United, so there you go. I think you'll win anyway, mate. West Ham or draw. That will be my pick for the weekend anyway. Right, let's talk about Leeds versus Newcastle then. Kendall, I did a preview earlier on my channel, and everything tells me that we will win the game. Them famous last words. But yeah, one win all season. No, man.
Man. He does.
I did say I didn't fear him, and he went and scored. But listen, like I get that all the time. You jinx it, but I have no bearing whatsoever on what the result of a match will be. But
listen, I was told by St. Maximin himself that he watched your preview.
Do you know what the way St. Maximin is? It's something he would dig somewhere.
I know.
100%. 100% he would do that.
Yeah, he is brilliant at that. But let's do that, right? Because Kendall, I've seen you digging out St. Maximin on Twitter. My partner's dad is a Newcastle season ticket holder as well, and he says he's all skirt, no knickers. I think he says. So
very good northern phrase, love it.
Yeah, like tell these guys about St. Maximin. What's the deal?
On his day, right? If he is prime St. Maximin, he's probably one of the, I would say now, just for his creativity and the way that he controls the ball, he's probably one of the most feared footballers in the league by any team. Don't care who you come across, maybe not Man City, but like everyone else, even like Chelsea fans when we played them last time, are like, oh, I really don't want to play against St. Maximin. The problem is, it's once in a blue moon he plays for the team, not himself. He plays for himself a lot. He's a very selfish footballer, but that's because he's skillful. And you do find that with a lot of skillful footballers, that they decide what's best for them rather than I'll just play that pass off a touch earlier, or I'll send it wide. He'd rather like walk that ball into the box in the most trickiest, showboating way possible. And the way that we play, we just cannot afford to do that at the moment because we don't have anyone on the end of it. Okay, Chris Wood now, but Chris Wood is a better aerially than if St. Maximin passed it to him in the box. That's where we need Wilson, because that's the threat of Wilson. I love St. Maximin, and he's one of the most exciting footballers that we've had since Hatton Ben Arfa, in my opinion. But he just needs that final third quality needs to be worked on. And for me, he's gone in a little bit of a sulking mode lately because he had it so good under Steve Bruce. He was always in the team every week. Steve Bruce used to give him 4 days off a week and just say, go and do what you want. He used to honestly, he used to go and fly, after a game, you'd just fly to France and have a holiday and then just come back home, 3 days, like legit, honestly, 3 days later and rock up to training 2 hours later and be like, hiya, and Steve Bruce used to be like, okay. So he had it so good. And I think he's not used to the fact that, he actually has to work now. And he has to train, and he there's a regime going on now, and I don't think he likes it because obviously he's very well known in the past to have disciplinary issues and training issues at every club he's ever been at. I just want him to understand the situation that we're in. And he says that he doesn't. I get that, and he obviously reads Twitter. We've all seen him on Twitter. He's hilarious, and he obviously reads it because in his interview at the weekend, he had an unbelievable finish against Watford, and then he said, I've seen that people say that I'm selfish and that I hold the ball too much, but I always play for the team. And I'm like, so he obviously reads what he says. I'm kind of awkward, really. I want to refrain from tweeting that. But yeah, he just needs to... now, Wood might relieve the pressure from him a little bit now, because obviously, as I've said, Wood's going to provide a different threat to us now, aerially, on Trippier's long balls and things like that, Shelby's long passes. So he might not have to do that as much. But I just want him to keep that creativity, but also understand his decision making and make his decision making a little bit better. But I do love him. But sometimes he's just a very selfish player. And at the moment, what we have right now, we can't be doing with that at the minute. But then on the other hand, it's like a 50-50 because he is the most creative player that we've got. So we can't really drop him. So it's just like a bit of a thing at the moment. Then you moan about him and he goes and does that against Watford. So it's just like, what's the point?
Yeah, and then he finds you in the crowd next time. I remember
you
digging me out on Twitter.
Oh my God, once, years ago, on a side note, my dad would use, because we sit quite close to the dugouts, and my dad was proper shouting at Cisse this one game, under Pardew. And honestly, Cisse went and scored an absolute world and came at my dad and was like,
oh, really?
After the game, oh my God, we've literally never forgotten. I was so mortified. I was like, Dad, I'm literally never going to a game with you ever again in my life. Can't stand that. But yeah, he'll come. St. Maximin will find everyone on Twitter that's slated him. Yeah. He'll do a big montage. I can just see him doing something like that.
Definitely. He is obviously. I was talking in my preview. He will probably be ailing a number of times, and then because of our man marking system, it then just sort of it's like sometimes the parting of the Red Sea, and
they just disperse when they play.
And, He's just like straight to the thing. But, you know, hopefully he has one of them inconsistent days at the weekend. But look, from my perspective, and I'll ask Oscar, I genuinely think we win the game. But I will also say this, and I said that in a preview, like, even if we weren't to win, there's nothing to, like, get too worried about. Because I know the narrative among certainly, we're in a relegation dogfight in that again, and I can't be dealing with that because I don't think we are. I do think we'll have too much for them, Oscar. Thoughts?
Yeah. I think we win the game, but I don't think it'll be. I can't see it being as nice as the West Ham game, to be honest, in terms of free flowing. I think we win it though. I think Newcastle give you chances. That's the thing you know about Newcastle. They're going to give you chances in the game. I think Trippier is obviously a really good signing. I think that's obviously going to tighten him up at that side of the back line. But I think the other side, left back, Kieran Clark, if he plays, Shaw, Lascelles, whoever it is, you know you're going to get chances off them. I think the goalkeepers, I think obviously Newcastle being switching between goalkeepers.
It'll be big Paulie Dummett at left back now. Paul Dummett was back last week.
I'm sure Raf's thinking, how am I going to get past him? How am I going to get past Paul Dummett at the weekend?
Do you know what? He's better defensively than Matt Ritchie, so I'm all right. I'm all right with it, really.
But that's it. I mean, but you switch goalkeepers a lot as well, haven't you, Kendall? In terms of like none of them really put together in the form.
They're all dog shit at the minute. What's going on? To be honest, I was moaning about Leno earlier, but bloody hell, it's probably an upgrade now. But yeah, so it was like Darlow, Darlow again, back to Dubravka now, but he's dropping some absolute clangers lately as well. So I can't see you doing anything other than win. Honestly, personally, for me, it's a bit like I just said to Corey, like, the pressure's on us and we don't handle it very well, clearly. So the pressure's on us. You guys you're ahead. You're not dragged in the relegation battle yet. I just can't see it being anything.
You're going to the game as well, Kendall?
I am going to the game, yes. It's my first away this season since pre-season, so great.
It's going to be great.
I'm not going to go. What's the point? What's the point? You travel all that way because obviously everywhere's far from us. And you travel all that way just to get absolutely done in. I just can't be doing
If Newcastle get a result, it'll be because of Saint-Maximin. I think if Saint-Maximin turns up, that's Newcastle's way of getting the result for me. I don't think there's anyone in terms of the man marking, as you've just mentioned then, Joe. I don't think there's anyone that really I can think of in that Newcastle team that really concerns me in that respect.
Like the midfield three, right, will be like maybe Longstaff, Joe Linton, and Shelvey, or like maybe Willock in there. Like it's not. You're right, mate. It is just Saint-Maximin that'll beat a man, and then
I think Joe Linton's
maybe Ryan Fraser. Do you know what? I'm laughing, but he's actually the improvement in him is. I can't even believe it. Really, he looks like the Ryan Fraser that everyone was like buzzing over 3 years ago. Like
he's playing under his mate now, isn't he?
A bit mad, Well, he's made that he absolutely shagged because he said he wasn't playing for 6 months because he wanted to leave.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
I wonder what that was like that first
meeting.
Then came
to us. Strange.
Dodge. Corey or Matt, and this is mad thinking this is how confident I am. Do you give Newcastle look at Oscar say, listen, Matt, I have no bearing on the game. Jenny, you think Newcastle?
This is Wigan all over again. This is Wigan all over again.
Don't remind me of that.
Kendall, when did you last win away from home? Just so we can jinx this even further.
We've won like one game in 22 or something, Corey. So I honestly wouldn't even like to think when the last time we won at home was. We've won. We've literally won one game in so many games. So I wouldn't even. Do you know what? Out of curiosity, I'll go and do it while you're talking. I'll have a look.
Yeah, because I know they've won one game all season. That was against a poor Burnley side.
It was at home, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was at home. Yeah,
so they've not won away all season. I think. What was it? Yeah, they've not won away all season, and they've conceded like 3 in the last. What's that?
We beat. Oh no, that was ages ago. Hold on.
I say no one else. We're probably the last team they beat. They're a
But Matt, Corey, do either of you think Newcastle can take 3 points?
Absolutely
not for me.
I mean, it's possible. If you look at the injury problems that Leeds are having, which somehow are mounting up again, you know, it's not impossible that Newcastle come and perform in the way that they can. It'll be interesting to see how these new signings start to bed in. And, you know, you get it sometimes with like Chris Wood. It's just such a random signing. Those can be the ones that work out really well. That actually he could go on and score 10 goals for Newcastle for the rest of the season, ultimately keep them up. And against a defence like Leeds that has been weakened this season, that has struggled quite a bit, it could be a game where he bags 1 or 2. So I wouldn't completely rule it out. I mean, your optimism is weird to see, Joe, given how the season has gone. But I think
he was optimistic when it weren't going well.
He was optimistic.
We beat Fulham.
We got beat 5-1 by Man United.
We beat Fulham on the last game of the season last season. That's the last time we went away from home.
We all know that. And there's Andy saying Newcastle have 3 points out of a possible 27 in away games this season. So, yeah.
What's the deal with Bamford, by the way? Can you give me the lowdown on that? Because he's injured again, apparently.
Something's dodgy, mate. I said this. I was told at the ground against Burnley he was supposed to be in the squad, and then Greenwood was a late change. Then he was supposed to be in the FA Cup, never seen, and now it's a new injury. I don't know. It's not great. But young Joffrey Gelhart's back. Oscar will know more, but he can't tell us because he's in the know now. You know?
I'm not his doctor. I'm not Patrick Bamford's doctor, am I? I did his X-ray the other morning. I don't know, mate. I genuinely don't. I wouldn't tell you if I did, but I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know.
It's mad. Look, I would have said when you talk about the reason why I bring up Bamford is because I thought your pressing from the front was a lot better against us than I've seen it this season. And I know you've had injuries and things like that. It's looked a little bit disjointed, but I think if you can press Newcastle high with their centre backs, I think you're going to cause them nightmares. Because I look at our centre backs as poor as they are. Look at our fullback, Soufal Creswell. There's quality there, but you look at Newcastle's team, take Trippier out of it, and you look at the rest of the three. And if they're trying, and Eddie Howe wants them to play higher, I don't think he's going to play counter-attacking football against you. So I think you've got a real opportunity. I don't even think you'll necessarily have to create or build up play. I just think your pressing is going to kill them. And I think Rafinha is going to tear one of them apart.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Go on, Corey.
Look, Matt is right. It's not impossible for
no, of course,
not to get a result because I think Saint-Maximin is so good. And because Leeds will go man-to-man, but then I say that I really like the way Pascal Struijk played against us. I thought he was very good. I thought both your centre backs were decent aerially, and if they are going to play long ball into Chris Wood, which likelihood is they're going to do that, or get deliveries in, then they're going to be able to deal with that. So the only player that really can give you something different is Saint-Maximin. After that, it's kind of tough for them. So
it's true, and we just beat Burnley 3-1, and Chris Wood got substituted. He didn't get a sniff in that game either. So. I do agree with you, mate. I think even Dan James, right, what he lacks in finishing, and I know he's been playing as the number 9, like he can't finish. He's shot at the weekend to make it 3-1 was basically a pass back. Like the thing is with his pace, though, he did cause problems for Diop and Dawson, and I think he'll do the similar against Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? And then we've got Joffrey to come off the bench as well because he's fit now, which is always a massive plus. So. I think we'll have too much. Go on,
I think the thing is that obviously we're talking about Saint-Maximin. If he does beat Ayling, that Robin Koch can come across because presumably he'll be playing CDM again. I thought Koch had his best game, in terms of looking after Fornals and on Sunday. I thought he did a superb job. Yes, the goal came, but that came from when Fornals moved to the left for a couple of minutes. But it'll be very key that Robin Koch's alert to that. If Saint-Maximin does get past Ayling, he's there to kind of like sweep up as such. But we might even go for back 3 if Newcastle do maybe go 2 up top and put Saint-Maximin more central up alongside Chris Wood. We might change it up a little bit, but it'd be interesting. But the only thing I'd say about Wood is that Burnley, I don't think there's anyone who can give him the service that Trippier can on his day. That's the only reason I'd be a little bit wary on that. But we do have Struijk back, who I think's the best positionally of all our centre-backs because he's never out of position, Pascal. He's always in the right place at the right time. He's maybe not necessarily the most talented of our centre. To be fair, he probably has
in a few years, genuinely, Virgil van Strauch. I called him Virgil van Strauch.
He's got the highest potential.
No, serious. I'm honestly remember the name, right? The kid's wanted by both Holland and Belgium. They both want him, but he still hasn't made his mind up yet. But he's that good. I genuinely think he's that good. From the Ajax Academy, I think he's unbelievable.
Mate,
so young.
Charlie Creswell, Pascal Struijk will be a Champions League winning partnership.
Yeah, man, it's
Champions League winning partnership, mate.
I'm telling you. Leo Hieldi at left back as well.
Yeah, left back Hieldi. Yeah. Cody Drame. That might have to rethink. Might have to rethink the right back situation a little bit. But
forget him. He's a div.
Stuart Dallas will still be around in his 40s, so Stuart Dallas can go at right back.
Yeah, mad. Pete put a super chat in, say Derby facing liquidation on Monday if there are no buyers. Does anyone have anything to say on the Derby situation?
What happened to Mike Ashley? Thought he put a bid in.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather go liquidated than have
You
Mike
would,
Ashley.
wouldn't you? You would,
Genuinely.
That's probably
You know
what's
what? I laugh
Genuinely.
because you would, but like at the same time, for the here and now, he probably would do okay because that's all he did for us. He just kept us afloat. That was literally it. Didn't invest. So like really, no, it's not a long term thing. But as of now, if he's willing to take the debt on, you'd bite his hand off, wouldn't you? Really, I would, no matter who it was. But I don't know. I haven't read too much into the situation really, but yeah, it's not good. Like when one of the like the founders of the league and things like that are in that bad of a situation. It's never good, and you don't want to see anyone like that. Like we've lost a lot of clubs over the last 2 years, so it's never good. But I don't know the situation really, and I don't know what they've done to be in that situation, so I wouldn't really be able to give a comprehensive answer on that really.
That was a very, very good answer, and I don't mean to be rude, but I was like trying to like not laugh because it was a very diplomatic,
very
answer.
Politician's answer, wasn't it? It was kind of good there,
it was very, very good. But as a Leeds fan, like I'm not saying going, but I'm enjoying it. Like I can't lie, right? I'm enjoying it, and people shake their head, but no one gave a shit about us when we were in the shit. So it's nice when the boot's on the other foot. I will say this
though. Rooney has done a really good job. Like genuinely, and I've watched a few of their games, and I was like, this is nuts. Talking Curtis Davies, Jagielka. He's got Kazim Richards, Rafa Morrison.
He's lost Jagielka as well. They can't re-sign Jagielka.
Yeah, they're not allowed.
He's still won at the weekend.
He's got something about him, Wayne Rooney. He's definitely got a bit about him as a manager. Like the way they play. Yeah, he'll get a job. Someone will take a punt on him. Might be Everton. Who knows?
Do we think that's where he'll go then? End of season
in the summer.
Yeah.
In the summer. I think they'll have Duncan Ferguson for now. Because what's the point in if you're going to do that? There's not really any point in getting Roberto Martinez because what's he just going to do? Give up an easy ride at a national team for 6 months? He's not going to do that. So they'll probably just keep Duncan Ferguson for a bit and then see what the crack is with Wayne Rooney, see what he does with Derby, and see what happens with them. Because I mean, they might not even need him. They might say, "See you later, off you go out the league." Not a club anymore. So they might just be available soon. But yeah, I think he probably will go there.
Yeah. How mad would it be though? Like if Everton had gone back to Martinez, knowing that they sacked him, spent about 700 million, and then went back to him. Do you know what I mean?
He would be a fool. He'd be a fool to even go back there, knowing that he knows how bad it is anyway. He knows how bad the owners are and how bad it is to deal with the board. So surely, he wouldn't be stupid enough to go back there. Surely,
you just give it Ferguson. I think you give it Duncan Ferguson because I know it seems a bit of a bit of a far left thing to say, but the way he talks about them and look, he can just galvanise them a bit. That club is toxic, like it's bad. And listen, he's a scary geezer, so if he
I'd make him play a manager. He's more of a threat than Ronda. He'd win a few headers, unlike Ronda.
I tell you what, I'll be taking Wayne Rooney even out. Be like, how do you fancy play as you play? No, pay as you play contract like Andy Carroll.
Yeah. I remember when I put Rondon in my FPL. Do you remember, lads, when I put him in that week?
Did you?
Yeah, do you not remember we were chatting about it, no? Oh, yeah.
Calvert-Lewin got injured. And you put him in, didn't you?
Yeah, because, I thought, anyway.
Where are you in the FPL out of interest?
Mate, I've had some decent...
I bet you got Kieran Clark in there, haven't you, as well? Like 2 mil.
I tell you, I've not been on it for the last few weeks, but my team's Sarr in goal, Dalot, Rudiger and Alonso, Gallagher, Salah, who's at AFCON, Bowen, Rafinha, Calvert-Lewin, Edouard at Palace, and Kane. So it's
not bad.
Yeah, it's all right. But I have been not messing
I was doing fine, and then I forgot, like, obviously the Arsenal and the North London derby got postponed, and I had, like, a couple of players in there because I took, like, Salah and... Who else did I have in there? Someone else. I took them both out because of AFCON. It was Son because he's injured. So I took them both out and was like, oh yeah, I'll put Saka and Martinelli in because, on form, got postponed. So then that just left me in the absolute shit. But I am still 5th in the league, so it's not too bad.
Not bad at all. I think Arsenal, Burnley are not going to play again until they get a striker. I think Arsenal just want to stop playing football full stop. By the looks of it. I don't know what's going off there.
Should.
Yeah. Hopefully that game will go ahead, though. I think all the games will be ahead this weekend. Fingers crossed, anyway, because Arsenal actually do play Burnley, don't they?
Can I just quickly mention the fact that Arsenal had to call off a game after loaning 2 players out, and in the next 2 days sold Kolasinac and loaned out Pablo Mari? They're a joke. Kick him out of the league.
Yeah, but have you seen Pablo Mari play football, Matt?
He's a player.
I wouldn't expect anyone to have to play Pablo Mari.
Nah, stop it, Oscar.
He's not great.
No, a bunch of Divock Origi to talk about. No, I'm not having any praise or any defense of Arsenal Football Club. They're a shambles. They're a pathetic joke. And then Mikel Arteta comes out and says, "Oh, I won't have anyone question the integrity of my football club." And 2 minutes later, Xhaka is being investigated for match fixing. Says all you need to know.
So is it Xhaka about these yellows?
Yeah.
Xhaka against Leeds. Joey got booked for time wasting. 65
in
grand
like
was put on
the,
him
yeah,
getting
in
yellow.
like the 85th minute, and there was literally like Emile Smith Rowe was stood there waiting for a pass. There was literally people behind him waiting for a pass, and he was just stood there like pointing,
Doing
but like
Xhaka
wasn't
things.
doing anything about it. Like it wasn't. It was so bizarre. If you watch the clip, it's absolutely bizarre.
To be honest, like, I've been mega busy. I seen something come up on my notifications, but didn't look into it. So Xhaka's how much was lumped on? Like,
it's not confirmed. It's just all that's been said is an Arsenal player is being investigated. But there's tweets from when that game was played on the 18th of December where people are looking at the betting patterns, and people pointed it out then how odd it was that there was so much money put on Xhaka, and the odds being offered were a little bit weird as well. And at one point he took out Rafinha on a counter attack and somehow escaped a yellow, and then he went on and got a stupid one.
Well, he should have got a red.
It
It was a red challenge. That it was.
I don't remember the challenge, but
yeah, it was.
Oh, it was awful, wasn't it? How he got away with that, I never will know. And then one of your players put some. I think it was Gelhardt put something on someone else, and he got a yellow.
Yeah, he got
straight
yellow.
away.
Yeah. Top 6 bias is real. Anyway, soon you'll be in that way. Soon you'll be in that, Corey, and we'll be just griefing you all the time, in your top 6.
And I'll just be going, I can't hear, mate.
Yeah.
I'm getting
And
too
then
many decisions my way.
And then Kendall as well, when they stay up and spend all that cash, and then
If we're still doing pods in 10 years' time, maybe. not any time before that, I don't think.
Trust me, they don't want West Ham even in that conversation, because every time we get into the top 4, it becomes the top 3, and every time we drop out, it's the top 4 again. So if you watch it honestly, we're not part of it. Like, we're there, but we're not. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think we've done. Unless anyone's got any burning desires to share anything.
just Declan Rice is a snake. Just want to remind you all.
Yeah. Absolute baller.
Okay. Absolute baller.
Best English midfielder.
If we're going to keep these Declan Rice lovins on every show, I'm going to have to reconsider my place on this panel.
Do you know what? I'll have to even it
Mental
up,
health can't
and
deal
I'll bring Don Hassan back, because he says he's bang average.
No, we can't be doing that. I'm going to have to be doing some research beforehand. Like, I'm going to have to start, because he's really convinced Jorginho is better than Declan Rice, and I'm
not still.
I'm not having it.
Surely
Can't be doing it. Mind you, Jorginho just got FIFA Player of the Year. It was in the team of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, but so was Ronaldo.
Yeah, Lewandowski wasn't even he didn't get Ballon d'Or, and he was one FIFA Player of the Year and all that.
Salah didn't get in it either, I don't think.
No, he didn't, did he?
Then Edouard Mendy won goalkeeper of the year and didn't get in the 11.
It was with Donnarumma then in the team.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And
Arsenal are 2-1 down, by the way. This is brilliant.
Oh, bad. It's all BS anyway, innit? But look, Harmony, lovely little parting shot, said it's lovely to see Kendall back again. So
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Kendall. And thank you, lads, for being here as well. And listen, I hope you all have an amazing weekend. I hope you all get positive results, bar Kendall, unfortunately. But listen, have a good day at Ellen Road. It'll be some atmosphere, believe me.
I haven't been since we were in the championship, so it'll be good. Yeah,
it'll be great, man. Me and my mate actually got the train down, because he lives in Hartlepool. We got the train down to the last time we played during the championship, and was on the train with a load of mags as well, to be fair. So it was a good day out. But listen, it'll be a pumping atmosphere. Hope you enjoy it, apart from the 3 points and all that jazz. Corey beat Man United, and you two are playing our rivals, like who we despise. So hopefully you and Matt pick up 3 points. That'd be nice. And thanks for everyone in the chat.
I want Conte to be an absolute shithouse if they win at Chelsea as well. I want us to just be doing all this around Stamford Bridge and all that lot. Conte
you
always
just need to do Jose, when Jose was like...
I want that.
I love the Jose one where he does that to the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, if Conte gave it a bit of that.
He did that as well, didn't he?
He did a free thing. He just needs to do that.
I want
man.
that.
Yeah, man, it'd be class. But listen, everyone, have an amazing weekend. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe to the channel, please. And yeah, see you in a bit.